It's that time of year again when we reveal our 2025 Designer of the Year, and it's Tommy Smythe. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lynda.
This is so great.
It's such an honor and a surprise.
Really?
You know? Well, I've been in the business for, I guess 2026 will be my 30th year in the interior design business in Canada. There's something really meaningful for me about being given this honor, because I guess in some way, maybe it means that I've maintained some relevance.
Of course you have.
It's hard to stay relevant.
I went back and did the research.
Yes.
The first question we asked ourselves is what took us so long. The second question was, how many times have we featured you? Mm-hmm. You've been in the magazine at least 20 times. And that doesn't include when you were a columnist.
No, not including the columns, because I was a columnist for a while.
Stories about you. Mm-hmm. And it all started in 2004 was the first time.
Okay.
That was the famous kitchen with the black lantern.
My career in design as a solo act started at House & Home magazine, because I really was kind of launched as a solo act with that project.
Yes, and that kitchen was quite famous in our world. You had the black lowers.
Yes.
And you had the lantern, which became your signature.
It did.
And you had the floor, which was like a mosaic.
It was kind of like not a herringbone per se, but it was slate, black and white. Yeah, it was a great kitchen. It was my own home. Yeah. And it was the very first kitchen that I ever did just for myself.
Well, it was great.
Thank you. I loved it, and I still do love it. When I look at old pictures of it, I still think to myself, there are choices that were made in that design that I would absolutely make again today.
Especially the lantern.
Especially the lantern.
We all recognize. In fact, this house has a fantastic lantern.
It does.
One of the best you've ever done.
Well, it's a very character-driven lantern. I mean, the young clients who hired me to do this project, they knew that they were going to be raising young children here, and they really were embracing of color. And so it wouldn't have been as good, I don't think, a move to do that sort of staid, formal British street lantern. Yeah. So they got this amazing Asian lantern.
Really cool. Mm-hmm. Then I remember you moved into the smallest apartment in Cabbagetown, 170 square feet?
180.
Oh, 180. It was so small.
Yes.
But you made it work.
I did.
And I remember we said, what's your best tip for living large in a small space? And you said, rent a storage unit.
Of course.
And make that part of your annual rent.
Yes, and that was all factored into my monthly budget so that I could hang on to certain things. I have a huge collection of books on art and design and architecture and all kinds of different subjects, but mostly those subjects. And I couldn't live with all of that in 180 square feet, but I wasn't ready to part with it. So there are certain things. It's a great exercise to move into a small space like that because you shed everything. And you did it in black with some white, but I mean, you didn't go all white. No, it was a great Faramball color called off black. I love off black. And it's not totally black. It's like an aged black. Yeah. I was traveling a ton. And so I was mostly in it when it was already dark. It was an evening place for me. I was working very hard or I was not even in it. So the space didn't bother me being small, and wanted it to feel like a nighttime space. The next big moment, for me anyway, was your 2012 gatefold cover. Oh, yes. You looked so dapper. Thank you. In your bow tie. Big moment for me. That was great. And you had a cabinet lined in wallpaper that was black. Yes. That held the TV. Yeah, that was in the kitchen of that kitchen family room. Great bookcases. Mm-hmm. And I got a lantern. Yes, of course. That lantern was red. Yes, yeah. So that kitchen and family room combo was inspired, believe it or not, by Michael Jackson's leather jacket that he wore in the Thriller video. So I kind of looked at that thing and I was like, oh, black and red, they're so handsome together as a combination. Maybe I can translate this into something very different, but also that had that energy. Don't those colors look so good together? Yeah, they're so handsome together, the black and red. Now, you've cornered the market on lanterns. I won't keep bringing it up. I just want to know, where do you find all the lanterns? Do you have like a warehouse of lanterns? I mean, they come from, I don't have like a stash. They come from lots of different places. Okay. Because I'm known for it, people know that I love them. And so I have a few dealers throughout Toronto and surrounding areas who, when they get one, will contact me right away before it goes on the showroom floor. So I have good insider access. Good. Who were your biggest influences from the start of your career? I mean, so many. You know, I'm self-educated in this business. I don't have a degree in interior design, but I learned so much through books. So I've been developing my personal library of design books, architecture, photography, and I reference those books all the time, but I actually really derived my education in design from those books and from my mentors. You know, John Manuel, our mutual dear friend, was a huge mentor of mine. Yusuf Hezbani, who had L'Atelier, one of the most important.
That was your first big job in the design world, right?
It was
at L'Atelier.
At L'Atelier. And when I worked at L'Atelier, every important interior designer in North America and even from around the world came through Yusuf's shop. It was in that way almost like a salon. There were so many people that would come through and I had access to all those people. So it was an incredible education just working there for him.
I think exposure is the most important thing a designer can get.
I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely.
And you had exposure through your mom and your grandmother and friends, and tell us a little
mentors.
bit about that.
So, you know, my grandmother, Dorothea Smythe, was an interior designer, as you know. My mother always had a huge enthusiasm for that, and she has beautiful taste. And they were really good friends. And they really talked a lot about design. And they incredibly, you know, they had the wherewithal and the creativity to change the homes that I grew up in so frequently that I was immersed in it from a very, very young age.
So in 2020, you opened your own shop.
Yes.
With your partner.
Yes, with Kate and Lindsay. So Kate Stewart and Lindsay Menz are my two founding partners at Tom Design Collective. And the three of us decided to come together and start something that would be a newer model for a design firm. So we're kind of like...
You can share the risk.
That's right. We can all share the risk and we can all share the accolades, but we definitely are a different kind of firm. You know, we have 7 lead designers and each of those people get their own spotlight.
There you were worried you were going to be out of business the day after you opened. Yeah. And now you have 2 partners and 7 lead designers. Yeah. So bravo.
Good. Thank you.
Then your cover in 2022.
That was massive for us.
Erica's house.
That's right. Erica Work.
Fantastic. What I remember about that house was that it was traditional in your approach.
Yes.
But like you updated the moldings so they were squared off.
We did.
And you did, there were moves like the art over the fireplace by the guy at Type Books.
Yes.
That was unframed.
Yeah.
You know, raw edged. You did, there were moves, there was a lantern that made it feel like a new mix. Like so what are your best tips for keeping things fresh in the mix?
Well, I mean, you have to have a few different kinds of elements together. You have to have something that is anchored in the past, something that is soulful from the more recent past, so something antique, something vintage, and then lots of things that are contemporary, elements that are contemporary. And I think if you can strike the right balance, which really is dictated by the personality of the clients, with those elements, then you have something that feels like an appropriate mix.
I'm sitting in this room in a Cabbagetown house built, I don't know how many hundred years.
1880s probably.
1880s. And I look right away at this fireplace.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me where it came from, why you did it, because it's the star of the room.
It is. So this room, when we came here, the clients had already installed the fireplace. And so this new chimney breast had been created, which was quite huge in such a small space. Big, big chimney breast. So the first thing that I decided to do was mirror it so that it would recede a little bit. That's a trick that I learned from Bert Mannion. Do you remember Bert Mannion?
Of course.
So he was one of the great Canadian interior designers, and he always had mirrored walls. So it's not something that's been done a lot lately, but it's something I knew would work. So the fireplace surround, which is copper, was based on a mirror frame that we had found through a company in the US. And Colin Baird, who worked on this project with me, Colin was charged with trying to talk this company into making a custom fireplace surround for us. It may be unique in the world. I don't know if you'll ever see another one because I don't think that company ever wants to do it again. It wasn't easy.
They did a good job.
Did they
I thought
ever?
It was stone when I first saw it.
It's verdigris copper. It's real verdigris copper. Again, very much in keeping with the client's personality. Everything that I do, if I've been successful in my work, is client driven. It's really about getting to know who these people are and handing them back something that is the best reflection of who they are.
Did your client tell you, we want saturated hues?
They did. And you know...
That's unusual for a young couple.
Very unusual. And, you know, we have people come to us, Lynda, who say, you know, here's a couple of pictures of my sister-in-law's house. This is what I want you to do for me. And so I have to do the work of saying, like, are you sure that you want that? Because we could do something special that's for you that is still going to feel like you, but it doesn't have to be her house. You don't want to live in her house.
Does that work?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't, and then we part ways. But I always say, you know, you really shouldn't design your house for the next person or the next family that's going to live there. We could all be dead tomorrow. I think that we should be embracing things like color and the bold gestures, the big moves.
Well, fortunately, it's all back in.
Yes, it's
Maximalist
coming back.
rooms, personality rooms,
Yes.
it's all back.
Yeah.
It's just you have to find a person who's good at it.
Yeah.
Because in the wrong hands, it can be a mess.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is an advanced maneuver. This is why you need help, and why, you know, it's something that takes study and consideration. You have to have inspiration, you have to have scholarship, you have to learn about these things, and then you have to have a little courage.
Yeah.
And that's what I always talk to people about. And when I speak to students, I always say those are the only three things you really need to make it in this business.
Right.
Inspiration, scholarship, and courage.
So what do you have to say about trends? If someone comes along and tells you everything's going to be flesh colored,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about that?
So I used to be a colossal snob about trends. And I used to be one of those people who would say, like, oh, my work isn't trend-based. It's timeless. I disagree with that myself now. I love trends. They're super important because you do have to keep them fresh, and because trends are the zeitgeist. This is what we should all be looking at in terms of cues for how to live now. You can't live in the past. Timeless is great, but anything that is trend-based that's done really well is timeless.
In this room, velvet.
Yes.
You've been using it your whole life,
Yeah.
but it's on trend now.
Yes,
This color claret is
Yeah.
on trend.
it is.
This mix of prints is on trend.
Yeah.
Cafe curtains are one of the trends for next year.
Are they?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Oh,
Because you've always been using
I'm hearing this
them.
first.
Because real decorators,
Yes.
in the sense of real decorators, never stopped using them.
No, of course, they're useful for certain
Yeah,
situations.
like this. That fixture looks vintage.
It is. 1970s. 18th century chairs and 1970s light fixture and contemporary fireplace surround, but with a very traditional mantle itself.
Okay.
There's a big mix.
This is a great house.
Yeah.
Your work has been a high point for us at
Thank
House
you.
and Home. And I just want to say huge congratulations.
Thank
So
you, Lynda.
well deserved. You're our 9th Designer of the Year.
Thank you. Can I tell you something before we part ways?
Sure.
My career as a solo act started at House and Home, but you have been so supportive of me throughout my career. Every editor-in-chief that you've worked with as publisher, every editor, every associate, every art director that I've worked with over literally 25 years
Yeah, it's been a long time.
has been incredibly supportive. I couldn't be
Good.
here and I couldn't be me without Canadian House and Home. I
Yay.
couldn't. I'm very flattered to have been asked to be this person for the magazine, to represent the magazine in this way, and to represent the design community in this way. And I do pledge to spend the year getting the good word of print media, House and
And
Home,
digital,
and interior design.
and video.
Yes.
And the huge pool of talent in Canada.
And we have to,
Unbelievable.
I see this as a charge to promote
Good.
that.
Get out
And
there
do
and
that
sell
for the
us,
whole year
Tommy.
till we pass the torch.
Thank you.
Thank you.